This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Good evening to you at 7. I'm Amanda Starrentino at the WRTV studios.
And I'm Mark Mullins, social distancing in my temporary home studio. First at 7 o'clock, let's get right to the latest developments in the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on central Indiana. Mass Ave and a few other city streets are shutting down to help restaurants slowly reopen. Now the owners of a few businesses are pushing back as they say closing roads could hurt them even more. Now, we've showed you yesterday the barriers going up along Mass Ave and other city streets to turn them into walkways. It's designed to let restaurants put more tables on the sidewalk since outdoor dining will be allowed in Marion County starting tomorrow. But the owners of some of the restaurants and other businesses are on one of those streets want more answers from the mayor and other city officials. Today, the owners of 24 businesses on Mass Ave sent a letter to Mayor Joe Hogsett, City County Council President Bob Osili, and Council Member Zach Adamson, who represents that area. They are asking the city to halt plans to close the street until a meeting is held to get feedback from the public. The letter says they believe reopening businesses this way could lead to more spread of COVID-19. They fear Mass Ave will become a street fair with alcohol after being in quarantine for so long, and they call it a recipe for disaster. And this response to that letter from the mayor's office, a spokesperson says, quote, "The creative approach we announced earlier this week is meant to prioritize the critical need for social distancing in our pedestrian-heavy corridors, while also increasing opportunities for businesses to expand their footprint." The mayor's office goes on to say it is committed to continuing talks with businesses and to help them with any issues they may have.
Now the latest COVID-19 numbers from the State Health Department. 48 new deaths are reported today. That gives Indiana 1,764 confirmed deaths so far. Another 149 possible deaths have been linked to the virus as well. 676 new positive tests were also reported, pushing Indiana very close to 30,000 total cases of the coronavirus. And COVID-19 has introduced a new kind of fear for people behind bars. Almost half the inmates at the Johnson County Jail have tested positive. Cornelius Hawker is talking to the sheriff, who says they're doing everything possible to keep inmates and staff safe.
Sheriff Dwayne Burgess wants to make it clear he and his staff see the humanity in the people who end up in their jail.
I understand people that are in jail also have families outside of here. Things on the outside affect them in here. So we try to do the best we can.
That's why he immediately started looking into the concerns I sent him about Tiaja Evans, who has been in the Johnson County Jail for a little more than a week. Tiaja's loved ones say she's sharing a cell with 3 other women, one who could potentially be sick.
You might be having issues being in another cell with other people, but I'm trying to look out for your safety as well. Every day we're trying to move people around to make it a little bit easier on them.
It's truly heartbreaking because these are people's family members and this COVID is serious.
Zarian Conrad is dating Tiaja and says it's been hard hearing her talk about living in a crowded, small jail cell and under nearly 24-hour lockdown with limited opportunities to shower.
And I'm not saying it's supposed to be luxurious during jail, you know what I mean? But I'm saying it should be standard, everything that it should be cleaned up. It shouldn't be a privilege for a shower. A shower should be mandatory.
They messaged me saying she hasn't had a shower only once in the past week. She's in a jail cell with 3 other women. One's pregnant, one may be sick. How are you addressing those concerns?
Well, we're all living with different types of restrictions. We try to address those the best that we can. On the 26th, that will be 14 days from when we had everybody tested. And that's a date that I can't wait to get here. Then we can kind of get back to some normal operations.
Normal operations that could see some of the quarantine restrictions lifted for inmates like Tiaja. Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, RTV6.
And the sheriff encourages anyone concerned about their family members to call the jail and ask questions. He says he's making all decisions based on guidance from his medical staff. Taisha's girlfriend says they found a lawyer and they're working on getting her out of jail.
And we're a step closer to the Memorial Day weekend on this Thursday evening. Lots of clouds, but we're dry. Maybe you got a shower earlier in the day. Temperatures, they're all in the low 60s, 63 in Muncie and in Bloomington. As far as the region this evening, temperatures will change very little across central Indiana. We're dry. for most of us, the next 24 hours. Any rain would be very limited. This is what we'll wake up to tomorrow. Temperature is 60 at 9 a.m. We'll talk about our high temperatures for tomorrow, and 6 out of the next 7 days have something in common. We'll get into that as well.
We'll see you soon, Kevin. Thank you. Metro Police are investigating an overnight homicide on the east side of Indianapolis. Officers were flagged down near East Washington and Pine Streets around 3 this morning. They found a person dead of a gunshot wound inside a car. Police say they believe the shooting happened somewhere else. So far, no suspect information has been released.
Metro Police are also investigating a shooting that happened just north of downtown. Police were called around 11 last night to Brookside Avenue near 16th and Broadway. When officers arrived, they found a 20-year-old man suffering from at least one gunshot wound. Officers believe the victim was shot while he was inside of his vehicle. At last check, he was listed in critical condition. This is it for the Blue Indy electric car service. Late last year, Blue Indy announced it would be shutting down today, May 21st, 2020. Blue Indy said not enough people were using the service to keep it viable. When Blue Indy first began, businesses raised concerns about the vehicles taking up parking spaces. It looks like those parking spots will be freed up once again.
This year's Tour de Cure for diabetes happens just a few weeks from now, and because of the pandemic, it will be different, but the effort still needs your help. Our Alyssa Donovan has details on why this year it's especially important for people to make the effort to participate.
It's easier than ever this year to get involved in Tour de Cure since it's all virtual. That means you get to pick your course and either bike, walk, or run all on your own. And professionals say if there's a time to get active, it's right now. Dr. Troy Abbott says medical professionals are concerned with people coming out of the pandemic more unhealthy, more people becoming pre-diabetic or diabetic. With more people staying at home and turning to comfort food, unhealthy habits are forming.
I would say yes. People need to be more problems with their elevated blood sugars because they're just not being active. They're being more reclusive, especially in our older population. They're afraid to get out and socialize and be out with other people because they're the ones at higher risk of this COVID.
Which is why now is a great time to sign up for the Tour de Cure and motivate yourself to become more active by setting a goal and continuing to social distance. For more information on Tour de Cure, which is happening on June 6th, visit our website, theindychannel.com. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
From Full House to the Big House, new developments in the college cheating legal drama. Actress Lori Loughlin and her husband deliver a shocking twist to this story.
Just search RTV6. This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
A new twist to the cheating scandal that rocked the college admissions world. Lori Loughlin and her husband, who initially fought the charges, will now plead guilty in their role in the scam. ABC's Zoreen Shah has more tonight.
This morning, a groundbreaking development in the college admissions scandal. 2 of the highest profile parents accused of paying bribes to get their children into elite colleges now pleading guilty.
You're kidding!
Former Full House star Lori Loughlin will plead guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud. Her husband, fashion designer Massimo Giannulli, will plead guilty to 2 counts, conspiracy to commit wire fraud and honest services wire and mail fraud. According to the plea deal, Loughlin will serve 2 months in prison. Giannulli, 5 months. Both also facing hefty fines and many hours of community service.
Any comments at all?
Over 20 other parents swept up in the scandal, having already pleaded guilty, including actress Felicity Huffman, who served 11 days of a 2-week sentence last October. But during multiple court appearances, Loughlin and her husband claimed innocence, admitting to shelling over $500,000 to the scheme's mastermind, Rick Singer, but saying they believed it was a charitable contribution to get their 2 daughters into USC. One of them, social media influencer Olivia Jade. But prosecutors say they had evidence like this. Photos showing Jade on a rowing machine, submitted to help her get into USC as an elite rower, even though the girls never competed.
The couple's plea hearing will take place tomorrow morning and in a sign of the times via video conference. Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
A change in wind direction will bring about a big change in temperature. We'll talk about our south wind, what comes with that as well, coming up.
The tour.
Welcome back. The next time you fly, whenever that might be, you'll notice some changes at security. The TSA is changing up some of its policies to better protect employees from exposure to the coronavirus. For instance, they won't touch your boarding pass. You'll still have to show it, but they won't hold it while inspecting it. Also, if your bags need to go through the X-ray again or need to be searched, they'll have you open them and place them back on the belt. Nearly 600 TSA employees have tested positive for the coronavirus and 6 have died.
Apple is unveiling some new software that will make it a little easier to unlock your phone while wearing a mask. The mask make it pretty much impossible for the facial ID feature to work. However, this new software will detect that you are wearing a face mask and automatically bring up the numerical passcode screen. Well, that'll save you a few frustrating seconds of having to navigate the screen manually. This software update also includes tech that can be used by local health authorities to notify people of possible coronavirus exposure.
Some restaurant dining rooms have been back open for a week and a half now. Both workers and customers are still adjusting to the new normal. Our Brad Brown traveled to a historic restaurant in Morristown where service is a little different, but the recipes are still the same.
Morristown has nestled along its spot on Highway 52 for a very long time, and for the past 11 plus decades, the Bluebird restaurant has been part of that history.
We have had such great community support. It's just absolutely wonderful. They have been right on it with us. They're there to help us. It's great. We have a great community.
The Bluebird dates back to 1925. Donna and her family have been the proprietors of that tradition for the last 48 years. But these past several weeks have been like nothing they've seen before.
A challenge, something that makes you really think about how to rethink what you do.
They've recently welcomed diners back inside for a taste of home-style favorites.
Yeah, now you can see them, and it's great. It is wonderful. The comment they made when they sat at that table up there on Monday morning or Monday afternoon was, "It's so nice to sit down and eat." You know, so it's a need that we're filling. We're all about home cooking. Fried chicken is what we do the best. We like lumpy mashed potatoes. We make our gravy from scratch, and it's low fat because we use 2% milk.
They had to shut down their popular salad bar and buffet, but along with the regular menu, you can still get all of the Bluebird's best family style, including that chicken and some of the best pies around.
We created this 10-pack of chicken that comes with the potatoes, the gravy, the green beans, the rolls, and most importantly, pie. Because we make our pie from scratch, we use lard. The only way to go. It's nice to have people back. It's nice to walk through the dining room and there's people. It's weird to have all this space in here because, you know, we're usually trying to jam as many as you can. But it's nice to have the people back and to get back to that.
Donna and her mom are making those pies at the Bluebird. She says that Oreo pie has been their most popular flavor recently. I can tell you why. It's because it is delicious. Their sugar cream pie is top-notch as well. You can check the Bluebird Restaurant Facebook page for a look at their daily specials. We want to give a shout out to the Copper Kettle just a couple blocks up the street in Morristown. They are taking reservations for dine-in. They have carry-out available as well. There's more great chicken and home-style cooking there. Working for you, Brad Brown, RTV6.
Once we warm up, we'll stay warm. 6 out of the next 7 days, temperatures will be in the 80s. Tomorrow is the exception. The humidity comes back in a big way, too, so you'll really notice that later Sunday and then most of next week. That's one of the building blocks, the humidity, for a daily chance of thunderstorms. Temperatures rise starting tomorrow, should go up and over 70 degrees. Then the next threshold is met Saturday, getting over 80 and staying there, as I mentioned, most of the 7-day forecast. Rain chances not significant the next 3 days. They're there Saturday and Sunday. Isolated thunderstorms possible mainly during the heat of the day. As we get to Memorial Day and Tuesday, they become more widespread and a greater threat to interrupting any outdoor activities that you have. There are specific temperatures to go along with Labor Day weekend chances for thunderstorms, 84 Sunday and Monday. Temperature now locked in at 60 degrees with one exception, Edinburgh, down along I-65 southeast Johnson County. Temperature there. Columbus also at 61. 5 degrees, 6 degrees warmer in Sullivan. All these temperatures will be slow to change tonight. Tomorrow, they'll jump into the 70s. With a little luck, we'll begin to see some afternoon sunshine mix in. Any chance for rain, just 20%. Watch the arrows move from east to southeast and then eventually south as we get later in the day Saturday. That will transport the warmer temperatures, the higher humidity into the state. Temperatures respond, going actually above average. After running a good 15 degrees below average, temperatures will shoot about 10 degrees above average, not just Saturday, but Sunday as well. Sunday temperatures almost in the mid-80s for all of central Indiana. With that, the chance for thunderstorms in the afternoon. Most likely days for thunderstorms next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. I'd say the chance is 60% or more for those 3 days. You have some time to get the yard in a state of perfection before you have to wait for it to dry out again because of thunderstorms. We'll be back with more news right after this.
IndyChannel.com/rebound.
The pandemic has made it so we can't hang out with friends or go out to eat as easily as before, but scientists say this whole thing is affecting some people in an opposite way too. Chris Conte shows us the other side of being cooped up and ideas to help manage the pressure, no matter your situation.
I'm extending my garden this year.
A once-in-a-lifetime pandemic has suddenly planted us into a dramatic shift of routines.
I've been going for a lot more walks.
Working in her garden, Mary Rose Steele reflects on the past few months of isolation. Some days with her 3 kids and husband prove more difficult than others.
I'd say the absolute hardest part is that we can't go and see our parents, so the kids can't see their grandparents, and they're really upset about that, and they really miss them.
We built like 3 rockets. Families across the country are having to take creativity to new heights to maintain sanity. Mary Rose has taken quarantine in stride. But like many moms, sometimes she just needs a minute.
This morning I took a break. I just walked out of the kitchen and didn't say anything to anybody and just went and took a shower.
We're spending a lot more time together than we used to.
That is Craig Smith. He's a psychology professor at Vanderbilt University. Even introverts, he says, are struggling with social isolation.
Yeah, what do you want? My son is sort of introverted, and he tells me that his biggest problem with what's changed is we never go away.
For families or couples quarantining together nearly 24/7, Craig has this piece of advice for the tougher moments.
Reach out and talk to people. And when you talk to people about your struggles, one of the things you will often learn is that other people are having the same struggles.
Staying at home means something entirely different for Andrew Connor. He lives by himself in Seattle. His kitchen is his office, is also his gym. For this 32-year-old who was always on the go, this has been a tough transition.
This is usually my dinner table and coffee table all at once.
To keep himself focused, Andrew has created lists on his bathroom mirror, reminders of things to be grateful for. It's helped him stay grounded.
It's more of like the ultimate mental test. You're forced to slow down. You're forced to think about things.
I think trying to monitor your feelings as best you can is a good thing. And if you feel that you're feeling some sense of loneliness or a sense of loss because you're not talking with someone, reach out.
I'm getting to enjoy my kids. I do love them. There are hard days, but I love spending time with them.
Managing the pressure of this pandemic often means taking each day as it comes.
Ready, set, go.
I'm Chris Conte reporting. Restaurants and bars will have to follow some pretty tough disinfecting guidelines as they reopen, but a pub in Japan might be taking that to the extreme. They're disinfecting their customers. Anyone who wants to grab a drink there must first wash their hands, and then they have to have their temperature taken. Next, they walk through a machine that sprays them with a chlorine-based disinfectant for 30 seconds. Look at that. Japan has entered what they call a soft lockdown and just started implementing new social behavior guidelines. And just to be clear, the World Health Organization does not recommend spraying disinfectant on people.
Temperatures during the day tomorrow make it into the 70s. That would be a milestone with a little sunshine mixing in, but I think a lot of clouds through the first half of the day. Then we're warmer for the weekend. We can all look forward to that.
Absolutely. Thanks for making RTV6 your choice for news. We'll see you tonight at 11.